Hi folks, well we're going to be making lawyer video number 2. This one I haven't quite decided on the title yet, but I think it's going to be something like the police can't lie to me in interrogations. What apple cart did you just fall off of? Okay. Yes, they can. Okay, it's that simple. They can. Okay, now they can't lie to you in all circumstances or about everything, but they can lie to you. Okay. That was established by the U.S. Supreme Court in the case of Frazier versus Cupp. The citation for that, and maybe if anybody's into it, I'll in a later vid I'll go into how you do legal research and how you find case law. But the citation for that one is 394 U.S. 731, decided in 1969, and in that case. A couple of things happened, both of which are fairly common in police interrogations. One was the defendant was told that his co-defendant had already confessed. Co-defendant is, just another guy who's accused of committing the crime along with you. That's not the legal definition, but that's pretty good for our purposes. And the police told him, he was in another room, he had completely confessed. In fact, he hadn't confessed to anything. But they essentially told this guy, hey, look, man, he's already confessed. Can be a lot harder on you if you don't. Okay. The second thing that they did was they made suggestions that they were sympathetic to his position. That was a murder case, and the murder victim may or may not have made homosexual advances to the defendant, and the police were more or less suggesting, hey, we understand, that's provocation, sure, and as I said, as I've said in the past, there's a lot of ghetto wisdom out there that just is crap. I mean, it really is. The police can lie to you in investigations. They can use the statements that you make uncounseled against you, once you've waived your right to counsel. And that's why you just don't do it. If, as I said before, you can get them to bring in a public defender if you don't have the money to hire a lawyer yourself. If you don't want a public defender, just shut your mouth. Just don't say anything. It doesn't help. Now, there have been Supreme Court cases that went the other way. I'm not going to get into the whole list of these, or how they're going to apply in your jurisdiction, because I don't know. As I've said before, none of this constitutes legal advice. I'm a lawyer in the state of Ohio only, and it doesn't even count as legal advice to you who are in the state of Ohio, because I don't know your specific legal situation. Sit down with me, sit down with another attorney, who knows criminal law, and talk to them, and then, based on your situation, we can help you. But, don't go charging off with this. This is just, just a series of hypotheticals, and it should be treated as nothing more than that. But anyway, the case of Lynham versus Illinois, they kind of went a little bit overboard, and they actually told a mother who was on welfare that her welfare benefits to her children would be cut off if she didn't confess. And the Supreme Court said, no, fellas, that's nice try, but that's a little bit beyond the pale. That actually amounted to coercion. Another case called Spano versus New York. They brought in a cop who was the guy's best friend, a very close friend of the defendant, and that should tell you something right there. The police want their convictions. They can get pretty devious. They can get pretty nasty when it comes down to doing what they need to do to get their information, what they believe is evidence that will support them in their conviction. And not all of them are like that. There are some that are very, very honorable men and women, and there's no question about it. But why take the risk? Really. You see your best pal from the police department come in, and he wants to sit down and sympathize with you. You know what your words are to him? Man, look, I can't talk to you. I know you and I are friends. I know we're drinking buddies. I know we're whatever. We play poker together. We go hunting together, whatever we do. But as we sit here now, I am on one side of this chair wearing handcuffs. You are on the other side. You are wearing a blue uniform and a badge, and I can't talk to you. I'd rather talk to some lawyer that I don't know than talk to you. I'm sorry, it's got nothing to do with our friendship, but this is my future we're talking about. Okay. Um, and I mean, I've had situations like this myself. I had a young fellow once who the police were very sympathetic with. I won't go into his case, um, but he thought he walked out. He thought he walked out of there and they were going to release him, just hold him overnight. Why he thought that? Why if they were going to release him, they didn't release him immediately. I couldn't tell you, but that's the way some people think. But the point the point I raise in showing that there are cases that have held the other way is not that there are defenses that you can take in with you. Don't go into a police interrogation and play lawyer. You don't know how to do it. Okay? And as I've said before, a smart lawyer isn't going to go into a police interrogation and play lawyer for himself. He's going to get another lawyer to do it. Why? Because he's too emotionally wrapped up in what's going on. You're being investigated by the police, or by any governmental agency. You're scared to death. That's human nature. There's nothing wrong with that, but you're not in the frame of mind that's sufficiently detached to be able to represent yourself properly. And so the best thing you can do is shut your mouth. Okay? But the point is that, yes, courts have held in different ways on those matters. And some courts, sometimes the same court on different issues, has said, well, this one crosses the line and it's coercion and we're going to suppress the evidence. And other courts have said, nope, that's perfectly fine. Why take the risk? Why take the risk? If you don't say anything, there's no evidence that they can use against you. All right, it's that simple. If you don't say anything, there's no evidence that they can use against you. So again, I'm not telling anybody to break the law, but I'm telling people, be cautious, be careful. Whenever you're sitting down in that circumstance, always understand that guy's talking to you for only one reason, and that's because there is something he wants from you. And usually it's in your best interest either not to give him at all, not to give it to him at all, or to wait until maybe he has something to give back to you. Okay, and the police can't make offers in criminal cases. Only a prosecutor can do that. Okay, they can tell you a lot of things, but what they're actually going to do and what the prosecutor is actually going to charge is not in their hands. All right. So, wish everybody the best of luck. And, once again, be cautious.